Hey, I've been thinking about improving my English speaking skills. Do you have any tips?
Absolutely. There are so many strategies you can use. One of the first things is to practice speaking every day. Even if it's just a few minutes, it helps build your confidence.
That makes sense. But who should I practice with?
If you can, find a language partner. It could be a friend, a tutor, or even someone online. But even if you don't have a partner, try speaking to yourself or using apps that offer interactive speaking exercises.
Speaking to myself? How does that work?
It's simple. You can describe your day, talk about something you're passionate about, or even repeat what you hear in English shows or podcasts. The key is to get comfortable with your own voice.
That's interesting. I always thought I needed a partner.
Partners help, but they're not always necessary. Another tip is to think in English. It sounds tricky, but it's about shifting your internal monologue from your native language to English.
That sounds challenging. How do I start?
Start small. For example, when you see something, try to describe it in English in your head. Gradually, it'll become more natural. Also, don't forget to expand your vocabulary. The more words you know, the easier it is to express yourself.
Expanding vocabulary. Should I just memorize words?
Memorizing can help, but it's better to learn words in context. For instance, reading books, watching movies, or listening to podcasts in English. When you hear new words, try to understand their meaning based on the context.
That's a good idea. I've heard that listening to music in English helps too. Is that true?
Definitely. Music is a fun way to improve your language skills. Pay attention to the lyrics, sing along, and even try to write down the lyrics to practice your listening and writing.
What about my pronunciation? I struggle with certain sounds.
Pronunciation can be tough. Shadowing is a great technique. It means listening to a native speaker and then repeating what they say, trying to mimic their intonation and rhythm as closely as possible.
Shadowing sounds helpful. Are there any specific resources you recommend?
Yes. You can use platforms like YouTube, where there are plenty of channels focused on English pronunciation. Plus, podcasts designed for English learners often include exercises on pronunciation.
That's a lot of great advice. But what if I make mistakes while speaking?
Making mistakes is part of the learning process. Don't be afraid to make them. The more you speak, the better you'll get. And when someone corrects you, take it as a learning opportunity.
I'll keep that in mind. Any final tips?
Yes. Stay consistent. Improvement doesn't happen overnight, so keep practicing regularly. And lastly, try to immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Surround yourself with English, whether it's through media, conversations, or even changing the language settings on your devices.
Thanks a lot. I feel more motivated to work on my English speaking skills now.
Anytime. Just remember, practice makes perfect. You've got this.